All right, now let's look at style. So after this presentation, you'll appreciate the concept of style, particularly with HTML, and also you'll know how to create different types of style rule for use with HTML. So we're going to look at all these tags and attributes, but let's look at them one by one. And also we're going to look at some style properties, but let's do that a little bit later. So basics, style. What's it all about? Well, we need style. You've got to have style in your web page. If you don't, your web page is extremely boring and people go to some other website. Okay, so style is the kind of visual component of a web page. In the world of the internet, the way you handle style is through CSS, cascading style sheets. So the basic concept is like this. You have your information, and the style is really a kind of separate set of information, a separate set of rules, and you add them together and that gives you your visual output. All right? That's the basic idea. So if you want to think of it in terms of files, you could say that is one file, that is another file, and that is the result you get in the web page. However, that is a little bit simple. So we're going to do style sheets. We're going to talk about that. Let's say you had a big website and the website has lots of web pages. What you could do is create one single style file, okay, CSS file. That CSS file could be used by the first web page in your website, the second, the third, the fourth. All of the web pages in your website could use that set of style rules in that file. Okay. Now, if you do that, that means all of these web pages in your website all have the same look and feel. They all appear to be the same. They use the same colors, background, spacing, all of those things, so that the website as a whole feels like an integrated entity. Okay. So that's a common way to handle the design of a website. So let's look at the code to do that. Basically, we have our web page and the things are similar to what we've done before. We have a header, we have a body. The body contains the visual things that you see. But now in our header, we add a link to a style file, right? Link href equals, and then off it goes, tells the browser to go and grab that file and add the style rules into this web page. So that's what we do. And then these rules in here can use those style rules. Not these rules, these elements, I should say, can use those style rules. So here's a more precise example, linking off to a particular file. There we have some particular elements, nothing very complicated. Header 1, paragraph, header 1, paragraph, nothing very advanced. Now those, usually they will look like black text on white background, but because we're using some style rules in this file, and let's look at the style rules in that file. Very simple. Header 1. Every header 1 in the web page is going to be purple text. Every paragraph in the web page is going to be blue text. That's the rules we put in that style file. Okay, so the final result, putting them both together, is this. Very simple. We had two header 1s, if you remember the source code, and we have two paragraphs. Okay, the two paragraphs are blue, the two header 1s are purple because of our style sheet file, which we had here. Okay, every header 1 purple, every paragraph blue. All right, so it's worked fine. That's the actual result. All right, now, so we looked at color just now. We set the color of something. What else could we set? Actually, there's hundreds of these parameters. This is just a few. These are commonly used style properties for text, really, okay? And so we've got color for the main text. We've got background for the background color of anything. We've got font family for text font, right? Different types of font, Courier, Arial, all those millions of different types of font. Size, control the size of the text. And also, where is it going? Left side, right side, middle. All of those things, you would control them through style, the right style rules. Okay, so we saw before an example where we used a style file. An alternative is you don't use a style file. Instead, you write the rules right there in the web page at the top in the header part. all right? Style rules go here, and then your HTML elements go here, and of course they will use those style rules. So this is an alternative approach. You do not have to put everything into a separate style file. All right, so this is an example, style inside this web page. There's the style rules, header 1, paragraph, and there's my actual HTML elements. And so header 1 is going to come out purple, paragraph is going to come out blue. It's exactly the same example as before, but now we're putting the style rules at the top of the page. What's the result? Exactly the same as before, purple, blue, no change at all for the visual result. So one of the things we could do to use style is use a special ID, a name if you like, for an HTML element. Okay, so if I said, all right, I got a list item, I'm going to give it a particular name. The name is red. Another list item, the name is orange. Next list item, yellow, and so on. So I could give any element, doesn't have to be list, any element in a web page can be given an ID, okay? Don't think this is related to lists, it's not. Don't think that the name has to be a color. No, that's just this particular example. I'm just illustrating. You might want to use some suitable name of an element which reflects how you use style a bit later. You could use the word like car. This list item has an ID car. This list item has an ID happy. This list item has an ID India. Whatever you like, you can use the name for any item. Now, why do we do that? Well, this is what happens when we don't apply any CSS so far. This is just a simple list, nothing clever. The ID thing hasn't changed anything. It hasn't added any style, all right? This is what we see so far. And then how do we use our CSS? Well, we would use it this way. You put the name of the element which you want to apply the style with a hash in the front of it. Okay, so whatever the name of it is, like, India or car or green or whatever it is, you put the name there, you put hash in the front, and then you say what visual parameters you want to use. Okay, so it's another way of using style. Based on the name of the element, you can apply a style. All right, so a particular example here. We've fixed up some names and given them styles for those names, all right? And so these are for those list items that we just saw. And also one up here, rainbow colors. We're going to use that for the background of a big list. Okay, so we've got different style rules, and then we're going to use those rules. This is exactly the same as what we saw before, but now we are applying our style rules. Okay, so this thing here, red, is going to use this here. Red, background, red. That is going to be applied to that list item. Okay, what about rainbow colors? Rainbow colors, style rule here, background color gray. What is that going to be applied to? That is going to be applied to the entire list. The background color of the entire list will be rainbow colors, which is actually just gray. All right, what does it look like? It looks like this, okay? There's the background color of the entire list. There's the style color of the first list item, style of the second one, third one, fourth one, fifth one, sixth one, and so on, okay? Looks very pretty. We have used the background property of these list elements. What exactly you want to do is up to you. How you use these style rules is up to you. This is just an example just to show some kind of pretty things. All right, now another way to handle style is to use class. And simply speaking, the idea is you make your own rule and then you apply it to anything. One rule can be used for multiple things. All right, so here's an example. Basically, you put a full stop at the front of the name of the style, okay? .zappy. And then you define what it's going to look like. .wow, and then you define what it looks like, okay? And then how do you use it? Well, you have your element, and then you say class equals, and then the name of that thing that you wrote at the top, Okay, header 1 is going to have the Zappy style. Okay, what is the Zappy style? Okay, it's purple and yellow background. Okay, paragraph, it's going to have a wow style. What's that? Oh, that is blue color text and light gray background. Okay, so some of these have Zappy style, some of these have wow style. All right, what does it look like? It looks like this. It's up to you to choose the colors and how things look, but this is just illustrating our class example. So this one here and this one here, they both had the Zappy style, okay? And then this one here, they both had the wow style here. All right, what else could we do? Well, we could define lots of classes and then use them suitably. So for example, here's a whole group of classes: Zappy, Spicy, Wow class, LOL class. Lots of different classes. Doesn't matter what they are. It's your choice. Use any word you like. If you're doing class, just remember the full stop in the front. And then you can use them. Now, what we're showing here is one element can use two different classes at the same time. Okay, so the first paragraph is going to have Zappy style, and it's also going to have wow style, both together at the same time. Okay, so it's going to have blue color and it's going to have background color lime color, which is kind of green color. Okay, blue, green. That's going to be the first paragraph. Let's check the result, and the result looks like this: blue on top of green. Right, so it is correctly using these styles, whatever styles you want, by using this class method, which requires you to put a full stop in front of your name. Okay, so you can have as many of these little classes as you want. It doesn't have to be two, as many as you like, depending on what you like. And they all get added together. They all get used together. All right, that's our ending of our discussion about style.